Ephesians 2, 8-9, 8. For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God. 9. Not by works, so that no one can boast. Why do you go to church on the Sabbath? For many of us, it's a ritual. A routine we follow because it's what our family has always done, or what we feel is expected of us. Maybe it's even become something we do to feel like we're checking the right boxes to earn God's favor. At its core, this mindset turns worship into the ritual of obedience, where our actions feel more like obligations than acts of love. But here's the truth. Going to church isn't a requirement for salvation. Salvation is God's gift to us, freely given through grace. It's not something we can earn through good works, perfect attendance, or outward displays of devotion. Ephesians 2, 8-9 reminds us that salvation doesn't come from what we do, it's a gift from God. Church, then, isn't about securing our place in heaven. Instead, it's a byproduct of the grace we've already received, an expression of gratitude and a desire to grow closer to Him. When we begin to understand grace, the ritual of obedience takes on a new life-giving form. It stops being about proving something and becomes a response to God's love. Sabbath worship transforms from a routine we follow to a relationship we nurture. It's no longer about obligation, but about gratitude, a heartfelt desire to spend time with the one who gave everything for us. Sabbath worship is a chance to step away from the noise of the world and rest in God's presence. It's a time to come as you are, flawed, tired, and sometimes struggling, and be reminded of His grace. It's not about being better than someone else or proving yourself worthy. It's about recognizing that we are loved despite our imperfections. So, while the ritual of obedience might describe how some of us start our Sabbath journey, it doesn't have to define it. As we grow in our understanding of God's grace, it evolves into something far greater, a relationship of gratitude. Church becomes less about following a rule and more about experiencing the joy of fellowship with God and others. The next time you go to church on Sabbath, let it be more than a ritual. Let it be an act of worship, a moment to rest in God's grace, and a chance to deepen your relationship with Him. When obedience is fueled by love, it's no longer a burden. It's a joy. And when we go to church, not because we have to, but because we want to, it's a reflection of the transformation God's grace brings into our lives.